Hello, I'm Greg Barone with United Home Audio. And this morning I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the SuperDeck. The SuperDeck consists of a tape transport, an outboard head amp, and down below we have the outboard power supply. There is also an optional rack system to support the tape transport and house the outboard head amp. And there are also hi-fi stay footers that go underneath the outboard head amp and the outboard power supply, both of which are optional. But let's talk for a second about the tape transport in the SuperDeck, because it's really what it is. It's a transport. In other words, it has real motors, it has a capstan motor, it has the tape control logic circuits, and that's all that's in this box. There's no power supply in this box, there's no voltage regulators in this box, there's no anything associated, no power supply whatsoever inside this box. It is a true tape transport. All of the power delivery systems that are required to run this deck are located down in the outboard power supply, completely away from the tape transport, the tape head, and the tape path. In addition to that, this tape deck uses all DC motors. All three motors are very speed stable, very reliable DC motors. I have no problems with my tape transports at all. They're fairly bulletproof and have been so for the last 13 years in countries all over the world. Once they go out, they never come back, unless of course the owner wants to upgrade. This unit features a number of differences between a typical looking UHA deck. It still has the billet aluminum tape head cover. It also has ceramic rollers, 1, 2 in front of the tape head, to give you a very precise tape path flow and a nice easy slick flow. In addition to that, we use the proprietary United Home Audio playback and record heads. All of the UHA heads sit in a mu metal can, providing EMI and RF shielding to the tape head. And the wiring on here is very precise and shielded wire to an output on the back, consisting of a right and a left balanced output from the tape head, which then goes directly into the outboard head amp to amplify the signal off of the tape head. The motors are very, very speed stable, very reliable, do a great job, and in honest opinion, this is really all you need to do to move the tape. You don't need a big studio deck to move tape, because you're not a studio, you're not running the thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But in addition to that, you really don't want big AC motors behind your tape wherever the tape may go, including the capstan. DC motors do not have the EMI fields associated with large AC motors. So there's a direct benefit right there. We also did a number of cosmetic changes on this tape transport. For example, you'll notice carbon fiber placard that's in between the two reels. What that does is it dampens the top of the top plate of the deck. But in addition to that, it also covers up, where you can see here, the speaker grill and the on-off switch on a typical UHA deck. In addition to doing that, we also provided a new faceplate cover. This faceplate cover is made out of steel, painted. It's engraved, laser engraved, with whatever needs to be indicated on the faceplate, and it provides a very slick look. On this deck, just like on all the UHA decks, there are rack mount ears on the side. And you can cover those rack mount ears with a number of different side panels that bolt right onto the deck. This deck is using the optional carbon fiber side panels, which look really great with the carbon fiber on the placard in the middle. You can also get Celtic side panels. You could get Mapingo wood side panels that dampen the deck even further. One nice thing about the tape transport is that everything that you need to appropriately move the tape is available to you. For example, it has a library feature, it's called spool on this deck, which lowers the rewind or fast forward rate to very slow. So you can spool your tape when you rewind it, when you put the tape on and rewind it to the left. You can spool it that way if you want, or you can just run, fast rewind. And in addition to that, it also has 3 memo drops. So you can drop a memo anywhere you want on the tape 3 different times, and you can go back to that memo point by simply pressing locate memo 1, locate memo 2, or 3. In addition to that, it also has a return to 0 button. What that means is wherever you press 0 on the tape, whether it's moving or stopped or whatever, if you press return to 0, it's going to go back to that point. So you listen to a song, you like the song, maybe you want to hear it again, you can either drop a memo or you can just reset to 0, and you have 2 different options to get back to it. It also has autoplay, a repeat feature, and direct location, where you can indicate what number, where you want to go in terms of time on that particular tape. So you have all of the tape logic features that you may want to use. This transport also has a couple of other features. For example, you can use different size reels. You can use a 7-inch reel, or you can use a 10-inch reel on this side and same on that side. So for example, let's say you put a 7-inch reel on here, and you wanted to play that. You rewind to over here, then you would simply press that you have a small reel on this side, and the tape path logic accounts for it. If you had a smaller take-up reel, yes, you can hit that and do both small reels. Okay. In addition to that, we have tape speed control. We have a 7.5 and a 15-inch, and then we also have 3 different ways to control the tape speed. We can fix, or we can variable, and this is a tuning knob here for the variable EQ, variable speed. I always leave it on fixed because that seems to be perfect, and upon testing, that's very accurate, very accurate speed controls. So that's the tape transport. The other parts that we will be going over next will be the outboard head